Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon and is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Thursday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is October 30th, 2017, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, 3 men suspected of sexually assaulting a woman after threatening her with a gun could spend the rest of their lives in prison if found guilty of felony sex assault. The charges were filed Friday in district court. All 3 men, Devin Ducky Richard Bond, age 21, Anthony Izzy Israel Fitz, age 18, and James Thomas Zink, age 18, all of La Plata County, appeared Friday wearing orange jail-issued jumpsuits in 6th Judicial District Court. Fitz and Zink received bond hearings, after which District Judge William Herringer declined to reduce Fitz bail, but agreed to reduce Zink's bail from $150,000 to $100,000. Bond and Fitz are being held on a $150,000 bail. All 3 men are charged with 3 counts of felony sexual assault and 3 crimes of violence after threatening a woman with a shotgun and forcing her to perform sexual acts. According to the complaint filed in district court, the 3 counts of sexual assault include causing submission of the victim against her will, assaulting the woman while she was incapable of appraising the nature of her conduct, and assaulting her while she was physically helpless. The woman told police she had been drinking and got a ride from Zink expecting to go to Fort Lewis College, but the men never took her there. If found guilty, the men face a minimum of 16 years in prison, but could spend the rest of their lives in prison under Colorado's sentencing laws for violent sexual offenders. It would be up to a parole board to determine if the men are safe for release after serving their sentences.
From the Cortez Journal, President Donald Trump is shrinking 2 national monuments in Utah and accepting the recommendation of Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke to reverse protections established by 2 Democratic presidents to more than 3.6 million acres. Senator Orrin Hatch, Republican of Utah, said he was incredibly grateful that Trump called him Friday to say he is approving Zinke's proposal on Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante national monuments. He and Trump believe in the importance of protecting these sacred antiquities, but there's a better way to do it by working with local officials and tribes, Hatch said. Hatch's office said Trump said, "I'm approving the Bears Ears and Grand Staircase recommendation for you, Orrin." White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders would not confirm that Trump will shrink the Utah monuments, saying she did not want to get ahead of the president's announcement. Zinke recommended that the 2 Utah monuments be shrunk, along with Nevada's Gold Butte and Oregon's Cascade Siskiyou. The 2 Utah monuments encompass more than 3.2 million acres, an area larger than Connecticut, and were created by Democratic administrations under a century-old law that allows presidents to protect sites considered historic, geographically, or culturally important. Bears Ears, designated for federal protection by former President Barack Obama, totals 1.3 million acres in southeastern Utah on land that is sacred to Native Americans and home to tens of thousands of archaeological sites, including ancient cliff dwellings and petroglyphs. Grand Staircase Escalante in southern Utah includes nearly 1.9 million acres in a sweeping vista larger than the state of Delaware. Republicans have been vocal against the sweeping extent of the monument designation since its creation in 1996 by former President Bill Clinton. The Republican-led San Juan County, Utah Commission welcomed Trump's actions on Bears Ears. The 3-member panel objected to the monument designation, saying it was too large and could hurt residents' ability to earn a living from livestock grazing. They contend there are other ways to protect the area and said the monument declaration attracts more visitors who could potentially damage the ruins and rock art.
According to the Cortez Journal, a woman acting as a spiritual leader to a small group of people living on a Colorado farm ordered 2 girls kept in a car without food or water weeks before their bodies were found, according to one member of the group. Madani Sayus faces murder charges along with Nashika Bramble, the girl's mother, for the death of 10-year-old Michaela Roberts and 8-year-old Hannah Marshall. 3 other adults also face charges of fatal child abuse. Officials investigating the case have been tight-lipped about how the girls died and how they came to the farm. Court records unsealed by a judge at the request of KOTO Community Radio and the Telluride Daily Planet revealed the group members' belief that Seus was a spiritual leader and allegations that she ordered the girls' punishment while the group was living on the property outside Norwood, about 30 miles west of the ski resort town of Telluride. According to the affidavit unsealed this week, the farm owner told San Miguel County Sheriff investigators that he met a group of 9 people, including 4 children, at a gas station outside Grand Junction in May and invited them to use the land. The man, named Frederick Blair, said he soon joined the group members living there in tents and cars. The document doesn't give any information about how the group came together before Blair met them. Blair said Seus, a 37-year-old from Haiti, told the others to call her Amma, or Yahweh, and ordered that the girls stay in a car without food or water because she considered them unclean. The document says that another member of the group, Nathan Yah, told police that the girls were allowed to leave the car to use the bathroom and didn't receive food and water. When police interviewed Seus, she would not say who was responsible for making the girls stay in the car, according to the record. Seus told police that at first she provided food for the entire group, but later told Bramble she couldn't keep doing it. Bramble and Blair began getting items from a local food pantry, Seus told police. Attorneys separately representing Bramble and Seus declined comment on Wednesday. The San Miguel County Coroner's Office hasn't determined what caused the girls' deaths.
Visits to Colorado resort towns may be slowing, but spending is not. This according to a report in the Journal from Cortez. Sales tax collections in Colorado resort towns notched another record this summer, making 5 consecutive years of steadily increasing summer spending. Taxable summertime spending in destinations such as Telluride, Aspen Vale, Breckenridge, Crested Butte, Winter Park, and Steamboat Springs has soared anywhere from 26% to 59% since 2013, the Denver Post reported. Colorado's 26 ski areas saw a slight dip in skier visits last season, below the record-setting season of 2015-16, when resorts tallied more than 13 million visits. But resort towns once again harvested record sales tax revenues. Intopia tracks lodging activity in 20 mountain communities in 8 western states. In 2012, as resort communities clawed out of the recession, fully advised mountain town tourism leaders that summer posed the most opportunity for growth. 5 years later, occupancy rates in the summer are almost identical with winter. With those warm weather occupancy gains comes a surge in room rates. The steadily increasing growth in lodging prices worries Foley as baby boomers back away from skiing. It's well known there is no new wave of skiers waiting to replace the generation that birthed the modern ski industry. It becomes this interesting matrix with the health of the industry and the health of the community in the short and long term over the health of lodging properties in the short and long term, Foley said. It is about growing the sport, or is it about growing the sport or getting a good rate and strong revenue in the short term? But a downturn in occupancy does not mean declining revenues for Beaver Run owners who rent their units to short-term visitors. We have definitely seen a nice increase in daily rates, said Bob Bartow, who manages the 432-unit Beaver Run Resort in Breckenridge. After record year-over-year, last year was an adjustment, and sooner or later there's always an adjustment. However, Bartow said bookings for the coming season are up over last winter.
Reported by the Durango Herald, the Bayfield Marshal's Office and La Plata County Sheriff's Office are pursuing a man suspected of attempted robbery of the grocery store at Bayfield. The chase, which started about 8:15 Monday, reached speeds of 80 miles per hour on County Road 501 north of Bayfield. The chase continued 16 miles north to Vallecito Reservoir. During the pursuit, the driver attempted to hit other drivers and did hit a law enforcement vehicle at the 12,500 block of County Road 501, according to Scanner Traffic. He was driving a tan Honda Accord. The vehicle was last reported abandoned on the side of the road about 8:45 a.m. on County Road 500, north of Vallecito Reservoir. Deputies were searching the area for the suspect. The man is suspected of attempted robbery of the grocery store at Bayfield, 381 East Colorado Drive, said Dan Bender, spokesman with the La Plata County Sheriff's Office. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
Today, we do have a winter weather advisory, and we're not yet actually into the winter season. For our area, it will be from tonight, Monday, into Tuesday, looking at the potential for 5 to 10 inches of snow for the San Juan and Central Mountains above 9,000 feet. Snow showers will develop over the mountains along the Continental Divide this morning, increasing in coverage this afternoon. Snow becomes widespread over the San Juan Mountains and portions of the Elk and Sawatch Mountains tonight. Tuesday, snow lingers over the southern portions of the central Colorado Mountains, diminishing by late afternoon or early evening. After Tuesday's weather clears out, it will again be dry Wednesday through Friday when we gear up for another chance for mountain snow, mainly over the north this time, for Saturday or possibly not until Sunday. Observations are still being considered to see if that storm actually will produce snow or rain. The national weather shows the low pressure to our west as that system moves through Colorado down into New Mexico and Texas, bringing with it rains and thunderstorms, while across much of the northwest, midwest, and south they're holding with clear skies and high pressure making for a nice fall day. But back in the northeast, they are experiencing rain and snow from that system over the weekend, and the wind gusts in the aftermath with speeds of up to 70 miles an hour in Maine. The wind is the main issue, with over 1 million people without power due to the strong winds in New England. Our Dove Creek vicinity 5-day forecast is giving us partly sunny skies with a high near 62 today, east winds 5 to 10 miles an hour becoming west-southwest this afternoon. Tonight, showers are mainly after 1 a.m., the low around 39 with west winds 5 to 10 miles an hour changing to the east after midnight. This holds an 80% chance of precipitation, which should be in the form of rain at our elevation and temperature, but it might be a surprise Tuesday morning, you never know. Halloween Tuesday continues with a 50% chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a cooler high near 54. South winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, south-southwest. Tuesday night, the winds will diminish and temperatures cool off to around 35. Then Wednesday for November 1st, the sun comes out and warms up to a high around 59 with winds 5 to 15 miles an hour and a low around 36, again, mostly clear. Thursday and Friday are also mostly sunny with highs of 58 and 60 and lows of 36 and 37 respectively. Saturday again, topping out around 61 and dropping just to the upper 30s at 38 degrees projected for the overnight. And our CO2 weekly report from NOAA shows last week recording at 404.01, the week before at 403.97, 1 year ago at 401.83, and 10 years ago, for reference, at 381.44. And now, back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, after threats of dismissal, a tenured professor at Fort Lewis College has been cleared of allegations of plagiarism and copyright infringement, with President Dean Thomas, albeit begrudgingly, deciding to take no disciplinary action against the 17-year faculty member. This spring, Grand Junction-based author Stephen Baker told FLC administrators that a column published by the Durango Herald on December 8, 2016, and written by FLC history professor Andrew Gilliford, closely resembled a book Baker published in 2016 about Pacomio Chacon, a sheepherder best known for the artwork he would leave on aspen trees while in the field. Gilliford and his lawyer declined to comment on the matter after Thomas's decision not to pursue disciplinary action. Also, all people who testified on behalf of the college and all but one who testified on behalf of Gilliford also declined to comment on record. The few who are familiar with the situation called the college's actions unreasonable, shocking, and embarrassing for the school. The two main examples of plagiarism the college claimed revolved around Gilliford's use of the term master folk artist and a reference to how many bears Chacon and his brother killed in one winter. In both allegations of plagiarism, the hearing officer determined the use of that information fell into the arena of public domain, and that in addition it is presumptuous and hypocritical of Mr. Baker to criticize Dr. Gilliford for using the same information Baker used in his book, also without citation. Gilliford has been a professor with FLC since 2000. In fall 2015, he took a sabbatical to research, among other topics, sheepherding and cultural artifacts left by sheepherders. He began writing his monthly Gilliford Travels column for the Herald in 2006.
Reported in the Journal in Cortez, a Rocky Mountain PBS investigation found that nearly 1 in 5 Colorado veterans who live in rural Colorado are not getting the same care as vets in metropolitan areas. And even though the state government and Colorado counties help fund the gaps in veteran care with transportation, nursing care, and advocating for services, rural veterans are still lacking. In La Plata County, veterans are somewhat insulated from VA issues nationwide, said Fred Reidinger, a former Veterans Service officer. He called Durango's local VA clinic, which is contracted, one of the better clinics in the U.S. Sharon Wilmer Norton, a registered nurse for the VA and speaking on her own behalf, said many concerns she hears about are related to access to care because the local clinic has a small staff. U.S. Congressman Mike Coffman, a Colorado Republican, Marine veteran, and member of the House Veterans Affairs Committee, says gaps in better care for all veterans cannot be solved by state and local governments. Rather, there must be national systemic reallocation of VA resources. We have a growing population in Colorado, and we have a growing population of veterans, but the northeast part of the country has lost population, yet has a VA footprint still there. He stressed that the consideration of closing or consolidating facilities to address the needs where those veteran populations live could be a solution. For now, rural Colorado veterans often must travel hundreds of miles for care from a VA system that, according to the U.S. Government Accountability Office, is considered a high-risk agency. That means the agency is at risk of mismanagement and is in need of transformation. In La Plata County, the clinic in Durango offers only primary care services. For more specialized care, veterans must travel to Albuquerque, either through their own transportation, for which costs are reimbursed, or through the Disabled Veterans American Veterans Transportation Program. Because the agency is stretched so thin across other rural areas, it has established telehealth connections at what it calls community-based outpatient clinics in smaller towns that are connected to a VA hospital center like the one in Grand Junction. Kaufman says vets in rural areas deserve better. Kaufman argues that in lieu of such personal interactions, many vets are given psychotropic drugs to help them cope with post-traumatic stress disorder. He says the VA must figure out a better way to marshal its resources, including streamlining hiring of staff to assure better services. Also, the technology may be welcomed by younger vets who are comfortable with mobile technology, but for vets in rural areas with little cellular or Wi-Fi coverage, it will not help. And the VA rolled out the Veterans Choice Program in 2014 that was supposed to supplement the strained system. A veteran in a rural area could visit a choice-approved local doctor, psychiatrist, or hospital, and the VA would pay for it, somewhat like Medicare. But there was a lack of communication with providers, and vets say the red tape was overwhelming. Wilmer Norton said the answer is not just hiring more people, it's looking at our process that we have in place right now and seeing where we have mismatch between supply and demand and productivity of individuals. She would like Durango's local clinic to transition from contract care to a complete federal VA office. There is a toll-free National Veterans Crisis Hotline, which is 800-273-8255.
According to the Cortez Journal, daylight savings time ends on November 5th when residents will set clocks back an hour. Colorado Parks and Wildlife also reminds motorists to avoid wildlife-related crashes as daylight hours get shorter. The fall time change happens to be right in line with peak mating season for some of our wildlife, especially deer. Crystal Chick, CPW Area Wildlife Manager, said in a news release. Animals are on the move this time of year, most actively between dawn and dusk. With shorter daylight hours, that makes wildlife harder to see when people are making their daily commutes. And bears are still actively looking for food before hibernating. The Colorado Department of Transportation reports an average of 3,300 reported wildlife collisions each year and notes more car accidents involving wildlife occur in November than in any other month. According to the Rocky Mountain Insurance Information Association, the average property damage costs from animal vehicle collisions is over $3,400. In southwest Colorado, the Colorado State Patrol reported an increase in animal vehicle collisions in the past 4 years, from 1,220 in 2013 to 2,065 in 2016. The highway corridors with significant numbers of collisions include from Durango to Bayfield, South Fork to Del Norte, and Ridgeway to Montrose.
According to Ad Age, Corona is heading into the pot business. Find Your Buds, the U.S. marketer of Corona, the Mexican beer known for its Find Your Beach tagline, is dipping its toe into the marijuana business. Constellation Brands, which also markets wine and spirits brands, has taken a 9.9% stake in a Canadian marijuana company called Canopy Growth Corp., the Wall Street Journal reported on Sunday. A Constellation spokesperson confirmed the deal, which is expected to be formally announced today. According to the Journal, Constellation will work with Canopy to create and market cannabis-infused beverages. Constellation will not sell any such pot products in the U.S. unless marijuana is legalized nationally, but it is eyeing the Canadian market, the Journal reported. Canada is expected to legalize recreational pot next year. In the U.S., recreational marijuana use is legal in 8 states and Washington, D.C. A Gallup poll released last week showed 64% of Americans supporting pot legalization, the broadest support Gallup has found in nearly a half-century of polling. For the first time, a majority of Republicans, 51%, back legalization. According to Gallup, Republican Attorney General Jeff Sessions is considered to be hostile to legalization, but he could find himself out of step with his own party if the current trends continue, Gallup noted. Pot's rising popularity has sparked debate inside the brewing industry over just how much marijuana competes with beer. At a recent National Beer Wholesalers Association meeting, Heineken USA CEO Ronald Den Alzen lumped pot in with other buzz-producing products that are stealing shares from beer, while calling on brewers to work together to promote beer. Wine and spirits are not sitting still, and marijuana is being legalized in many states across the country, he said in a speech in the Las Vegas gathering. We have to act now, and we have to do it together. But evidence of pot's threat to beer is not conclusive. Quote, I believe marijuana and beer fit into this gray area of substitutes and complements, Michael Urich said, economist of the Beer Institute Trade Group, according to an account by Beer Business Daily. Constellation, whose other brands include Modelo Beer, Svedka Vodka, and Kim Crawford Wine, is not taking any chances. Quote, we're obviously trying to get the first mover advantage, Constellation CEO Rob Sands told the Wall Street Journal. Constellation foreshadowed its move late last year when Sands confirmed the marketer's interest in cannabis-infused beverages in an interview with Bloomberg. People who are using cannabis may be disinclined to drink as much as they might have otherwise, but maybe they weren't going to drink in the first place, and then they drink something else. Mr. Sands said maybe the whole thing will work out synergistically. Ontario-based Canopy described itself as a diversified cannabis company with more than 500,000 square feet of indoor and greenhouse production capacity. Its brands include Tweed, which grows weed in a former Hershey chocolate factory in Smithsville, Ontario. Last year, Tweed struck a deal with rapper and noted pot supporter Snoop Dogg, whose Leafs by Snoop brand is sold by Tweed in varieties including Moonbeam and Palm Tree.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of October 23rd through the 29th. A deputy responded to a report of a reckless driver on a county road. The deputy was able to make contact and issued a warning. An outfitter reported an illegal elk kill. The Division of Wildlife was notified to respond. Reports of a physical altercation in front of the post office flooded dispatch. The parties involved separated before a deputy arrived. Summonses for disorderly conduct were issued to Kenneth Taylor and Wilson Bradfield. A caller reported cows out and roaming free on Dolores County Road T and Montezuma County Road FF. Dispatch notified Montezuma County. Dispatch received a report of 2 semi-trucks running the Monticello, Utah port of entry. Both trucks were contacted by officers and asked to turn around and go back to the port of entry. Dispatch received a report of a careless driver. Officers were unable to locate the vehicle. An officer investigated a report of trespassing on private property. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings. Saturday, November 4th from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. is the Dove Creek Community Center 26th Annual Christmas Bazaar. There's still time for local talented artists, jewelry exhibitors, photographers, cooks, and more to showcase their talents and treasures at a cost of $20 per table, plus completed vendor contract. Mark the date and get a jump on your holiday shopping and enjoy some great food and holiday treats. Vendors must complete a vendor contract and also contact Christy Chad to verify booth reservations. To sign up for a table or for more information, visit their website at dovecreekrec.com or contact Christy Chad at dcrecdirector@gmail.com or 970-739-8874. And another Halloween Kids Carnival in celebration of trick-or-treating for a cause and the hard work of the Dolores first grade students is being held at the Public Library in Dolores. There'll be a Halloween night October 31st from 5:30 to 7 p.m. Free to all. Please let them know you intend to come so that they can be prepared for the numbers. Call 970-564-3211 or KATRINAL at monteloresecc.org or visit them on Facebook. And all of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday and then rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.